Now after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and have come to worship him. Then Herod the king heard this. He was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he inquired of them where the Christ was to be born. So they said to him, In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet, But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are not the least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you shall come a ruler, who will shepherd my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had secretly called the wise men, determined from them that the time of the star appeared, and he sent to them Bethlehem, and said, Go and search carefully for the young child, and when you have found him, bring back word to me, that I may come and worship him also. When they heard the king, they departed, and behold, the star which they had seen in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy. And when they had come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, and they presented gifts to him, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Then, being divinely warned in a dream that they would now return to Herod, they departed for their own country another way. Then Joram turned around and fled, and they said to Ahazah, Treachery, Ahaziah of the how Jehu drew his bow with full strength and shot Jehoram between his arms, and the arrow came out of his heart, and he sank down in his chariot. Then Jehu said to Bidkar, his captain, Pick him up and throw him into the tract of the field of Naboth the Jezreelite. For remember when you and I were riding together behind Ahab his father, that the Lord laid his burden upon him. Surely I saw yesterday the blood of Naboth and the blood of his sons, says the Lord. I will repay you in this plot, says the Lord. Now, therefore, take and throw him on the plot of ground, according to the word of the Lord. But then when Ahaziah, king of Judah, saw this, he fled by the road of Beth Hagan. So Jehu pursued him and said, Shoot him also in the chariot. And they shot him at the ascent of Gur, which is by Ibleam. When he fled to Megiddo and died there, and his servants carried him in the chariot to Jerusalem, and buried him in his tomb and his fathers in the city of David. In the 11th year of Joram, the son of Ahab, Ahaziah, who had come king over Judah. Now when Jehu had come to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it, and she put paint on her eyes and adorned her head, and looked through a window. Then as Jehu entered at the gate, she said, Is it peace, Zimri, murder of your master? And he looked up at the window and said, Who is on my side? Who? So 2 or 3 eunuchs looked out at him. Then he said, Throw her down. So they threw her down, and some of her blood spattered on the wall and on the horses, and he trampled her underfoot. And when he came down, had gone down in, he ate and drank. Then he said, Go now, see this accursed woman, and bury her, for she was a king's daughter. So they went to bury her, but they found no more of her then the skull, and the feet, and the palms of her hands. Therefore they came back and told him, and he said, This is the word of the Lord, which is he spoke to his servant Elijah the Tishbite, saying, On the plot of ground of Jezreel's dog shall eat the flesh of Jezebel, and the corpse of Jezebel shall be as refuse as on the surface of the field, in the plot at Jezreel, so that they shall not say, Here lies Jezebel.